All right, so here we are. Make sure I gotta check Streamlabs. Here we are. So it sounds like the audio's working. So we live. So here we are. Yeah. So man, dealing with the VA. I got a woman counselor. I'm telling you, man. I am of strong belief that it's just it's just the reality, man. Like you cannot let women do jobs that can potentially have an impact on somebody's life. You just can't do it. You can't not on any consistent level. You just can't do it. The education doesn't matter. It just the education just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much education they have. You just cannot like you just can't do it. You just can't do it. The responses I just got back from my VA counselor, literally right before I started this live stream, are just abysmal. Like it's just terribly bad. Now, to be fair, that there are some women who can handle it. I said my first VA counselor, me and her are still friends. She actually hired me to be a grad assistant with her. I think she's like 55 or 60. Now she could handle. She gets it, but usually the only women that get it are usually the women who, from my experience, were educated, but they also kind of had they had some real humbling life experience, right? Like and that's what my first VA counselor. We're still friends to this day. She went through that. But if the woman is educated, but she never really went through any real humbling experience, like she was still kind of able to run from being humbled, it just doesn't work any other way. It just doesn't work. And then, man, it's just that thing, man. Like a woman, like just never a woman president. No, not unless she has a lot all men telling her what to do. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I've just seen too many times where women will literally destroy families because she just got in a mood, right? Just because she got in a mood, destroy entire families, right? There's absolutely no way I could ever advocate a woman be a leader of anything without men behind her telling her what to do. There's just no, I just couldn't do it. And again, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how much education. Because here's the thing: in my professional life, right, and when I go anywhere near professionalism in life, the lowest degree is a master's degree, right? And trust me, dude, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. The bullshit games, how they try to run and hide, or they try to manipulate a crowd to get somebody else to get mad about something because they're trying to hide their own fault. It doesn't change. Here's the thing. So, in the professional world, what I find, men can be like this too. But in the professional world, what I find is men will definitely be more humbled in many cases until you start getting to places like HBCUs, like areas where like the men, like those guys probably didn't really deserve it and they kind of get in there anyway. So they're trying to live up to this caricature of being intelligent. They end up becoming a caricature at this point. Like when I went to HBCU, my uncle would fall into that category a lot, right? He was in that area of and I'm bashing him. He's dead. I'm bashing him, but it's just my honest opinion. Um, Men can become like that too, but I think the big difference is men can fuck around, come off it. They can give you something back in the end and say like, okay, yeah, I fucked up here, so XYZ, whatever. Whereas women, like they biologically cannot just say I fucked up, right? They just can't do it. Like something, there's like a developmental block in their fucking brain, right? Something's just not right, right? And again, when I'm in my professional world, in any kind of way, the lowest degree is a master's degree, and it doesn't change. I'm telling you, dude, take it. I'm telling you, I'm doing a trust me, bro, but trust me, bro, like that shit, like from the hooker sucking dick for $5 on the street to the female doctor. When shit gets anywhere near real, they all do the same shit, dude, and it's all just as equally pathetic. It really is. It's just the only difference is one is a little cleaner than the other. One's sitting in a nicer room, has a man buying her nicer shit than the other. But they're all as equally as pathetic. The vast majority. Like I said, in my history, out of every professional woman I've had to deal with, when it comes to things like jealousy over like a prettier woman, or they found out you went to go sleep with another woman or something like that, any of that, any of it, I would say out of every 20 women, I would say maybe one would genuinely kind of get it and know, and be all right. But the other 19 just don't. Some of them can try to mimic men. They could try to mimic logic, and they could try to like attempt at it, but they just don't have it, man. They like woman's brain just does not fucking. They just don't have it. Like I just could never recommend a woman be a leader of anything of value. I just can't do it. I just can't, because again, like, okay, let me go with more in depth. I couldn't recommend it for any chronic period of time. Like women can do it for like a week at a time, or 4 days at a time, something like that. But as soon as those emotions hit, she's fucking done. She can't continue on. Like she just can't. When her emotions are hit because you didn't say please or thank you at the end of an email or some shit like that, and her emotions, oh shit, she just gets so emotionally drained. Once that happens, dude, either once that happens, when women get pushed by logic in the world, right? When women get pushed by any sense of logic, whether it's talking to a guy like me about logical shit, or like the world just pushes it on them, right? Either she's gonna just give you everything you want, or she's gonna be a complete cunt bitch and start arguments and fights and destroy lives. It's always, trust me on this, it's always gonna be it's always gonna be one extreme or the other. Now, when men completely get pushed, men will just rationalize down into trying to find a good midpoint for everybody to be happy, right? Women just don't have that. Either when pushed with reality, she's either gonna become combative or she's gonna give you everything you want. Right. There's no, and depending on the context and the situation, usually most times they'll just try to just become combative, because usually it'll be in front of people, she doesn't, and all that. So usually she's just going to become combative, but usually it's going to be one of either she's going to just give you everything you want, happy smiles and all that just to get out of it, or she's going to become combative, fight, or run away as fast as she can. It's going to be one. Because I remember, actually, I got a great example of this. So when I went out to this little underground club slash bar in Prague. I went to this. It was this punk rock. I want to say concert. It was like an underground club. It wasn't a concert. I called it a concert, I think, last week sometime. So it was these two girls there, and some kind of way I started talking. Well, it was a girl and a woman. Well, the girl ended up being 35, and the woman was like clearly like 45, but she was cool. And some kind of way we got to talking about having kids. Well, the 35-year-old, she had never had kids, and she wasn't a bad looking girl, but she's 35, right? And so she's right off the bat a little, on edge, because it's just that thing. She's 35 with no kids, so she's trying to talk about it, and then on top of that, she's a woman. And then there was the other woman who was blonde. She was blonde. I thought I've had a thing for blonde women lately. She was blonde, but she was nice, and she was just kind of, she was there, right? And it was the same thing. The 35-year-old girl immediately was starting to get combative. You can feel the friction and all this. And the blonde, the older woman, the 45-year-old, she immediately switched to just telling me whatever I wanted to know, right? And immediately switched to just give you anything you want. Because she told me while we were in the club or whatever, she goes, okay, because the topic came up and I asked her, did you feel anything when you first held your children? And she goes, I never told anybody this, but no, I never felt any love for them, when holding them when they were babies. She said, I never told anybody this, but I never felt, love when I held my children. And I told her, like, well, I don't blame you, it's just because that's a lot, right? Now I think on one point, like, it's kind of expected, but in the reality, when it happens, like, I think a lot of it's bullshit in how people try to say, oh, when I first hugged my baby, I loved them with all my heart, or when I first, smoked when I first took heroin in any kind of way. I felt this immediate love and rush. I think a lot of people just say. I think a lot of people are just like desperate for an event in their life, so they just say shit like that. But in reality, out of everybody I asked, it was definitely far lesser people. If they're being honest, they'll say, "No, I didn't feel anything." With hair from heroin to having my baby, I didn't feel any that intense love for it the first time I did it. Didn't feel. I mean, you might have felt something, but it wasn't like this dedication love, right? But yeah, that was just my example of like, because it just happened probably about 2 weeks ago when I went to the first concert. But yeah, it's just that thing, man. Like when pushed, women will either like when pushed by reality, woman's only response is to either become extremely combative or give you whatever you want. Like women do not know how to balance off in that middle ground to truly make people happy by her actual actions. She doesn't know how to do it. So how a woman can only resort to making people happy is to either just give them exactly what they want, or they just you know run off and ignore whatever the problem is. Right? That's their only method of dealing with. See, and this is what I mean by women are not naturally loving. Right? Women do not naturally love and care. It's just their escape mechanism for the most part. I would say the majority. The woman's love is nothing more than an escape mechanism, more than it is of delegating, where she's gonna put her cares into to try to find a true equal ground. No, that's not in woman's. It never has been. It never has been in woman's character to truly try to deduce who's gonna be happy and what, and actually carry it out, and that shit works on any level. They're terrible at it, right? So instead of actually, strategically trying to think and how to make something work, she would rather just resort to her already womanly image of being a nurturer, and she'll just rather just give everybody everything they want and hope that just fixes it, right? Until a man comes in and says, "Okay, now this goes here, this goes here, this goes here," and then she can escape, like woman always does. It escapes in the sunset, hidden under man wanting to talk themselves into woman being lovable and caring and all that shit. Yeah, this is why I say women are not loving and caring at all. It's used as an escape route. What's up, Grave Rave? Made it. What's up, Charlie Guns? What's up, J1? Mo, what's up, man? I trust you because I seen in real time it made me disappointed in humanity after that word up. Yeah, thanks to tuning in, Mo. What's up, man? Hey, bro, I might visit Prague after New Year. It would be an honor meeting you. Well, yeah, come on, Spurtum Cast. Yeah, I actually just replied to an email. I hope I didn't miss him. I'm not gonna say his name, but I hope I didn't miss him because he wrote me 2 weeks ago, and I just got back to my emails now. Um, I hope if you're watching, man, I hope I didn't miss you because you said you were coming out in a week, and that was like 2 weeks ago when when you sent the email. I just got to my emails, but so I apologize for the late find of the emails. But yeah, but Spurtum Castle was you. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, like here's the thing: for everybody who's come to Prague, there was only one time where I didn't get to meet that person, and he might sound off in here. I don't know if he's watching, but there was one time I couldn't meet a guy, and that was because I thought my baby was gonna be born. I think it was Thursday, but he actually ended up coming the day before. Technically he did come on Friday, but he came like I thought like the doctors thought that the baby was gonna come like more near the weekend. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, but he came earlier, and so we were at the hospital at like 8. And he was like, but before that shit was like getting kind of like her water had broke earlier that day, but then the ambulance took her, but then they sent her back home. It got really weird that day. So the only reason I didn't meet up with anybody who actually came to Prague, that was the only time and I was trying to work around that the whole time, but he had to go because he was just coming through Prague to go somewhere else, and I just couldn't meet because my son was born that morning. So that was the only time. If you've ever come to Prague, I like if that was the only time that I can remember that I never met up with somebody who came to Prague to visit me, or just came to Prague and I was just here, or I was along the way. They was driving through here to get to Poland or Germany or something like that. And it's stop and see AD. Watch him on YouTube. That was the only time where that happened. Only time. It was the birth of my son. Now, I may not be able to meet with you every day if you're here for like a week because just life. But I would at least, I'd love to. I would at least hook up at least once or twice at minimum. AD is this video Michael Jackson. The video of Michael Jackson. Oh, you mean okay? Yeah, because it's funny you bring up Michael Jackson because I did find it'll probably get copyrighted, but we can look it up real fast. I did find, and I should have remembered this because it's really simple. He does what I was talking about. Hang on. He does what that robot he was doing. So it looks like anybody can post, so it shouldn't be copyrighted. But it was the whole performance, and it was at the end. I think this is it. So we're going to skip through it. But he does the robot in it. He doesn't do it because he had this one much smaller performance where he did it. And like he really goes far harder with it. This is the You Are Not Alone. I think this is You Are Not Alone. Yeah, this is You Are Not Alone. I'm pretty sure it was this performance when he fucks around and does the robot. Because he's getting a little hard in it right there. He doesn't go like hard. Here it is. Yeah, I think this is it. No, this is it. He's like, here it is. No, that's not it. That's the same shit. But it's somewhere in here where he walks off to the like stage. Because when I seen it, I told my girl, like, that's it. That was it. This is it right here. Yeah, that's it. That's the walk right there where he does it. He doesn't go as hard as he does, like, I think, like, Munich or something he did it. Like, try to do that shit. But and that's not the best one. The best one, like I said, it was some small award show. But he goes, like, harder, like... Every fucking joint starts to move like a robot. He goes way harder. But that's the walk, though. That's it. Again, not the best one, but he does, like, he can go harder than that. But you got to find it in some little fucking, like, performance somewhere. And, yeah, Mike was, like, some serious shit, man. That motherfucker was... crazy. I saw your post about Ukrainians coming over. How's the Czech women taking it so far? Are the Ukrainians stealing their men? Oh yeah, you seen the yeah, I put it in the community channel on my YouTube. Yeah, because yeah, I usually don't put stuff that I'll see in there like that, but because I don't want to start people like to look down on all Ukrainians. I feel like that's kind of like what it could be taken as. But that Ukrainian issue was a big problem over here, and it's something that like CNN and the motherfuckers they would never talk about. Like if it was Africans, they would have they would have had a 9 o'clock special about it. But but it's since it's Ukrainians, no, they're not gonna talk about any of that. Like they're not gonna talk about how like, in Ukraine the Ukrainians were kicking out their own and then charging like triple the rent to stay in the place. Or they're not gonna bring up any of them stories. Like those stories don't make it. The CNN can't put that about Europeans. Now, if it was Africans, they would have had, like I said, if it was Africans, they would have had like an 8 o'clock news special on it. Like, hey, guess what, y'all? Grab your beers, let's talk shit. What's with these damn Africans? Well, that's what they do. Yeah. But no, CNN, they won't talk about those. Like what I post in the Facebook group, looking for help in a single mother. Because they all were single mothers, most of them. What a girl I knew wasn't a single mother. She was in the UK. I got to write her because I ain't wrote her in a while. She wasn't a single mother. But most of them were. And it was just that it was in okay. So what's that? Muka who wrote that? Mika. So with that. So so if anybody's interested, it should be on my community page channel. I posted a Facebook group of somebody looking for a flat for a Ukrainian single mother, right? And I would talk about it back then, how look, just the reality of the logic, that's not a good idea, right? But the EU essentially used Ukraine for that, as American hospitals used COVID, right? So American hospitals used COVID as a way to they use COVID as a way to get grant money from the government by saying, oh well, the COVID rates are crazy. We need more help financially because we need more, tools and nurses for this crazy COVID rate that's out of control, and we can't keep up. We don't have the resources. So they would get a shitload of grants for it. The higher the numbers, the more grants they got, right? Well, Europe essentially use Ukraine as that. They use Ukraine as that method of, well, we saw these Ukrainians because of war. We need money, blah 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 blah. When every European country's fucking broke, America's broke. Everybody's country's broke. Everybody's continent is broke, right? I'm not just singling out Europe. Everybody's broke. So what happened was in Czech Republic. What happened was landlords were given like $1,500 to house Ukrainians. The government was giving them thousands of euros just to go to school on, and then on top of that, I'm pretty sure they was getting a stipend from the government just to live on top of that. So at first, it looks like it was this big humanitarian aid, but in reality, all Europe was doing was they were just taking the money that they gave to the Ukrainians and put it back in their country system, and then try to kick the Ukrainians back out. Right? That's what they were doing, right? Right. And if you just think about because logically, let's do this, because I'm becoming too much of a trust me, bro. Let's do this. Let's do this in U.S. dollars. It's gonna be about 300, something like that. Yeah, 400, and this is. So right here it says about $400, but okay, because I was in Kiev, 400, that's the high end. Most people are gonna make about $250 to $300 a month. Let's do, and I spelled that wrong, but fuck it. So this is saying $2,000. Again, this is not, because I'm living in Prague. Most people are not bringing home to $1,800 a month, and that's just not true. Okay, most people are not doing that. The average person is bringing home roughly 1,200 to, on the high end, $1,500 a month. But here's the thing. Let's just omit that, and let's just go with these. Let's go with these solid numbers, right? So the average wage in Ukraine is roughly. Let's zoom in on this so you can see it. The average wage in Ukraine is roughly, let's just use these numbers. These numbers are not, real averages, but let's just go ahead and just entertain it. No, thanks for the dollar, Snot Feather. I did say, I think it was a woman on the front of it, but no, I haven't watched it yet. I just been too much shit's been coming up. I did watch a little bit of Oppenheimer randomly, though. I stumbled onto that. I didn't like it. Wait, let me get this started real fast. Okay, so logically speaking, and I'm not trying to bash Ukraine, but my thing was always just look at the reality. My thing is always look at the reality of the situation. Okay, I'm gonna get little things wrong here or there, but in the overall summary in the overall scheme of things, my perspective is just look at the reality of the situation first, right? So, and I'm not saying this to hate Ukrainians or anything like that, but I'm saying this to look at the reality. Now, and I've always stated this from the beginning, my opinions on this. The average wage from Ukraine is roughly $400 a month, right? The average wage in Czech Republic, based off of this data, which is not right, but let's just roll with it, is $1,800 a month, right? So what did you think was going to happen when that aid money ran out and then Ukrainians are now stuck in Czech Republic? and guess what population is stuck? Guess what part of the population is stuck in a country that makes roughly 4 times the amount as an average wage, right? Single mothers. It's the women and the children, because that's who Ukraine let lead, because they didn't have a fucking military to speak of. and they had to hire Bob from Barnes and Noble to come in and, you know what I mean, and hold an Uzi, right? Think, like, what did you think was gonna happen? The motherfuckers ain't got the money for that, right? It don't matter how much the typical Ukrainian person saved up. Them motherfuckers they averaging 4 times lesser than your average wage. They can't save up enough money to survive there for no. I mean, it's like taking a motherfucker from buttfuck Ohio and be like, hey, bro, yeah, just go to New York City and just start surviving as a single mother with a baby, and you can't work a full-time job. Yeah, just go to New York and just survive, bro. And on top of that, New York speaks a different language than you and uses a different alphabet than you. Yeah, just go there and survive. That's the dumbest shit you could have fucking. I mean, that's goofy shit. You think a random dude on YouTube could see that? You think the Czech government didn't know that? You think Europe didn't know that? So why do you think Europe did it? Because they was trying to get that free grant money. That's why they was doing it. And when they got that money up out in Ukrainians' pockets and they got it back in their system, to hell with the Ukrainians now, because we got that money about them. So from a country standpoint, we're seen as philanthropists, we're seen as protectors, we're seen as caring about people in need. You know, they don't lose. And on top of that, look, media is never going to, let's just call a spade a spade. Media is never going to give white-skinned people bad press on a whole. They're just not going to do it. On a whole. Now, if it was Africa, they would have had a field day with that shit. But since it's Europe, they're never going to get bad press, so they win. Right? It's a win. It's a win for you for Western Europe, because they're never going to get that bad press, right? They're never going to get. They're just absolutely never going to get that bad press, dude. And I said that from the beginning. I remember Hungary got in trouble because they was trying to get aid money, and they tried to say, oh yeah, we have 300,000 Ukrainians, right? But they got busted because motherfuckers dug in a little deeper and found that, well, in reality, 300,000 Ukrainians went to Hungary, but only like 10,000 actually stayed in Hungary, and the rest of them was trying to get to Eastern Europe. I called all that shit before it happened, dude. They was trying to get, and see in the West, y'all didn't get them stories on how motherfuckers was mad because they had to go to Turkey because they was trying to get to Germany, but they stuck their ass in Turkey or some shit like that. And motherfuckers was heated. They was like, yo, because you would have thought they just trying, because here's the thing. You would have thought they were just happy, they'd be happy just to get away from war, right? No, they was trying to get that was their ticket to get to Western Europe. And I had said that from the very fucking beginning. I called that shit a long time ago. And you still won't hear about it. Like, unless something happens real bad, you won't hear about everything the shit I just showed you. They ain't gonna talk about that. Keep that quiet. The Ukrainian women can always find a Czech man. Oh yeah, I was hanging out with a guy who visited me from YouTube. We were hanging out and we stumbled into this Ukrainian dude, right? And he seemed like a well-off dude. He'd been here for like 20 years though, and he said everything that I say. He said it. He said, look, the Ukrainian women, they're going to go to Germany or whatever and find a man there and leave the man back in Ukraine because they trying to stay in a better country because that was their ticket out. Right? He was a realist like me. He was a realist dude. He was a real dude. I'm doing the whole trust me bro shit again because I can't prove it, but he was a real dude. For sure. Yeah. Motherfuckers know what's going on over here. Dominion says, what's up, Grave Rave? Says, do you think as a result of what you say about women, they don't know how to deal with reality? They are collectivists by nature. Let me look up the word collectivist just to be sure I'm on the same page as you. Collectivist, relating to the practice or principle of giving a group priority over each individual in it. Giving a group priority. Yeah, from how I'm reading at the moment. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, the group over each individual in it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they're collectivists by name, and in my opinion, they're collectivists only because they don't have any true form of applicable intricate thought in reality. So they have to be collectivists. They have to be just like I would say in this context, if I'm going to use it right, I would say a collectivist would be like saying, yeah, like the '98 Bulls were an amazing basket. Was everybody the '98 Chicago Bulls was an amazing basketball team, right? Like somebody who just like who wasn't a basketball fan, like they would look at that and say that. But for people who were actually alive back then and was watching basketball, they know that look, only a handful of people on that team was genuinely, something above average for the NBA. Now, in the real world, they all were amazing, but in the NBA, only a handful of them were above it. Most notably Michael Jordan, because when all those players went off the other teams, nobody else did anything of any value, right? Scottie Pippen went to the Rockets. I'm trying to think. Ron Harper, he went to LA for a while. I think he went somewhere else for a little while. But yeah, that collectivist mentality. Yeah, but okay, but back to that word in that context you brought up, the collectivist. That yeah, that usually kind of comes from let's say like this is for lack of better words, ignorance or just inability to articulate anything. Ukrainian women are, oh yeah, oh yes, I'd agree 1,000%. Yeah, yeah, Ukrainian, no, it's no competition. I tell my girl, like when I went to Kiev, like no, them Ukrainian women, they kill y'all. When I went to Kiev, because I remember before I went to Kiev, I would always end up speaking with like an African dude or something like that, and he would say, "Oh no, man, you got to go to Kiev," right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. And when I first went to Kiev, it was like it looked a little rough, and I was a little off. And I'm thinking like the women don't really look that good. But then when I found like that main strip where like the center in the city center kind of thing, it was like a little down the street from where I was living. I showed it on Google Maps a long time ago where I lived while I was there. Yo, thanks RBT. Hey, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Before I lose my train of thought. So when I went to Ukraine, when I went to Kiev, and I started seeing the women there, and then when I came back to Prague, like the women out there made Prague women almost look like American women. Like they only did except for being fat, right? Like because they're not like super, they're not fat on average out here. But outside of that, like the quality of what they were, like the quality of what they would put into their clothes and makeup here is like it's pretty bad. It is. I remember not too long ago I was in an elevator with my son, right? As in the mall, I was in Palladium. Palladium is the main mall in the center. Centrum. They call it Centrum, but it's the main mall in the center. And I was in the elevator, and it must have been some event because it was three girls and a guy, and they were all dressed up, right? But this is gonna sound like some gay shit. Like if I had to kiss any of those three people, I would have rather kissed a dude before I kissed those two girls, right? Because the two girls had so much makeup on, it just like, and then they drew on the eyebrow. It was just so much makeup on that I couldn't stop staring at it because I'm trying to figure out like, do you know you put on that much makeup? Type of shit. But they were like looking down, I guess, because I guess they thought they looked good. And I'd be having to tell my girl, like, yo, just because a man's staring at you does not mean you look good. Sometimes you can look awful, and a man's just trying to figure out where your mind was when you decide to walk out the house and look like that. And I think that a lot of women suffer from that. But the dude, he wasn't wearing any makeup. He was a regular dude. But if I had to kiss I would have rather kissed the dude on the cheek than those two bitches because that makeup was just fucking awful. It was just so caked on. More makeup does not mean more. And I think that's kind of where the Czech women are to makeup. Okay, Czech women are to Ukrainians what American women are to Czech women, right? Especially when it comes to stuff like makeup, right? Because them Ukrainian bitches, oh, they gonna be on point with that shit. Now, some of them, you can always find a weirdo anywhere you go. But them Ukrainian bitches, look, because them bitches out there with $200 a month. All right, $300 a month. And them bitches make it work. All right. Now, Czech bitches can get up to that point. But when I came back from Ukraine to Prague, when I came back from Kiev to Prague, and I'm looking at the women walking down the street, and I'm just like, oof. Like, it felt like I went back to North America almost. Like, I'm just, every time I look at one, I'm like, oof. You walked out the house looking like that. I mean, like, because they just didn't put the same that effort isn't there, right? Now some of them could still be. I mean, of course, now I still say this: the Czech women are still out of North America. Unless you're in New York City or something like that, American women just can't compete with the world. And even if they can physically, then they're so mentally fucked up that they just can't compete. Because there's some beautiful women in North America. I'm not trying to say all American women are ugly, but trying to put them in competition with like, you know, I would say like more around Czech Republic, Czech Republic and East of here, no, they just no. Western women just can't compete with that like like Central Eastern, whatever you want to call it. They can't compete on average because again, either they're going to be physically fucked up or they're going to be mentally fucked up. So they just can't compete. What's up, Jobby? What's up, Anthony? Out here, the fake eyelashes, heavy makeup are common. Yo, man, yeah, the eyelashes shit. My dad was telling me about some girl with they're going on. He's going on about the fake eyelash thing. I, that's fucking gross, man. Like I don't. Yeah. Like it was. I think it was kind of cute, maybe. But the only reason it was cute was because women on a whole weren't doing it. I thought it was kind of cute. Maybe what's this? 2013 ish, I would say, and that's just because like women weren't doing it. So when you did see that one woman who looked good and did it, it was kind of hot then. But now it's just like okay, like all of them are doing it, and then you got different qualities of it, and it just doesn't look good. But let me read off this RBT. What's up? Thanks for the donation, man. Have you seen Hobby Buchanan videos? Yeah, he's doing great facial abuse style videos of humiliating. Yeah. Hobby Buchanan. Yeah, he was on. I think he does it from like his apartment or something like that. Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him. Yeah, yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, the fake eyelashes thing, that shit's fucking wild, man. Like I just don't. It's just gross. What's up, CGI Life? Yeah, man, I'm getting my ass kicked right now in life, but I'm all right, man. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. We all get our ass kicked at some point. Something's gonna happen, and that's just life. But I'm all right. I'm good, man. What's up, Oliver Biscuit? Did you see the Thriller documentary? Michael Jackson's. What's up, Elijah? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I did a long time ago. Because if I remember correctly, that's where like he was screaming, but his like actual voice was doing it. It sounds so pathetic. He was like, he was trying to scream in pain while dressed up as like the. If you talk about the Thriller music video, yeah, I'm sure I watched it years. If it was Michael Jackson, especially from those time periods, I'm sure I've seen most shit that he's ever released. Because I was really into Michael Jackson in the 90s. Grave Rave, there's a women only restaurant nightclub, and the pic showed a line of women sitting down and nobody bought a bottle or anything. And you know they are working, but they don't want to spend money. Yeah, Grave Rave. Yeah, because a woman, she has to be bought, man. That's just what it is. Like, you have to buy her something. Like, this is prostitution. I think I've seen it somewhere. When they all just, like, sitting on the wall type of thing. Yeah, it's because they're biologic. They're prostitutes. Like that's what like she cannot function until she receives some type of payment. Like she has to do it. I'm not saying that to hate women or bash women. It just is what it is. Let's look it up real fast. Was it only? Oh, it's gonna bring up. Shouldn't check. I hope it's not gonna bring up anything. Yeah, because it was. I seen the picture. It was like, oh wait, oh but I skin. So I'm gonna click on. And they were all just like sitting against the wall. Yeah, because that is gonna bring up Czech shit. But like, maybe let's see. But no, something like that is not gonna do well. When the only way a women's only club would do well if it was subsidized by men in some kind of way. Club women only was it bar? The only way something like the only thing anything of any value would ever take off is if men were subsidizing it in any way, and they would have to subsidize it because women only, there's just nothing would ever get done. All of them gonna sit around and wait for a man to come give them something because that's just her nature, right? She can't like men are giving them all the power. It's all men. Like that's just what it is. The building wouldn't even be there if men didn't build the building, right? The club wouldn't. You wouldn't have no air conditioning, nothing in there if the men didn't build it or put it in there because women ain't gonna do it. Yeah. So let's start on this article, bold.com. What's this bold.com? I don't believe in good men anymore, and I don't know what to do. So me and my girl, we got in a conversation earlier while she cooked some mashed potatoes. I can go show you this in the kitchen. She made some little thing of some mashed potatoes. But we was having a conversation earlier because I told her what I tell men to do in the world is whatever you do, especially when you writing a woman, do not write her back immediately because on earth there's nothing more less desirable than a man who seems like he's needy, right? Like needy men are the lowest commodity on earth. Like that's just like at that point like motherfuckers just want to get rid of like men. I tell men all the time, never ever write a woman back within 15 minutes. You can do it with a guy, and guys don't really care, but women never ever do it. So she starts telling me how she had a stalker and blah blah blah, and but she was asking how come she can do it, but like I can't do it, and yeah, we had that whole conversation this morning. Yeah. Yeah, she was telling me how she had a stalker who was like making accounts and like, well, I don't know. But I had to explain to her, like the reason why guys, I think a big reason why guys do it, in a sense. But I mean, I'm not a stalker, so I'm really kind of speaking out of ignorance. I'm only speaking out of assumption. But I think a big reason why guys can fall into that sense of infatuation and all that is kind of like how my son, like Kratos, right? Like how babies get, they love mommy so much that they don't know what to do with all that love, and they start getting bad, right? They start crying all the time, or they get super, frustrated or anxious or whatever. And because the babies, they don't know what to do with all that love they have for mommy just because she's mommy, right? Because the baby, they not having any real conversations or nothing like that. The baby just loves mommy because the mommy's being nice to him, right? Like the baby really does. If you really think about it, a baby doesn't really have a reason to love motherfuckers. The outside of them just being there, thing, right? Like you're not having philosophical conversations with this little motherfucker. This motherfucker don't know nothing about Nietzsche and them motherfuckers. He can't. You mean he's just sitting there running around, want to kick a ball from time to time, right? And he loves you because you were just there, right? And you weren't hurting him or you gave him a toy or some shit like that. He'll love you just off of sheer proximity, right? But and I think that the issue is when we get older, especially like with men, because men we're the aggressive ones and shit. We're the initiators of the aggressive ones. So I think in my opinion, where stalking comes from is guys, they don't know what to do. Like just like when a baby goes through that, like the man doesn't know what to do with all this extra love and and maybe possibly frustration because the woman's not doing what he wants her to do, and he doesn't know what to do, so it turns into an obsession. I think it was a Ninja Turtles comic book that said obsession is dedication gone wrong, right? Like you have to learn how to control it, you have to learn how to work with it, know what it is and maneuver it, right? um But yeah, and I think it's rare for women to actually make it to that step of actually directly initiating some type of stalking. I think it's harder for women because women just don't have that sense of courage to do that. So I think that's why women do stalk, and they stalk far worse than men, but they stalk covertly, very far more covertly than men will. right? Let's talk about for example, Goob you too. Like this dude legitimately is on the internet looking for ways in laws to find out women's home addresses and personal information. Like, right? And it made a video about it and posted on the internet, right? Like how many women do you know would go out there and do some shit like that? Like how many women do you know would go out there and actually do that? Like women are not that loud with their stalking, right? They're not gonna do where men will do that. Men will just get it in their head, and then that aggression will like push it out, and then they'll say all types of shit. But yeah, let's start on this card. Let's start on this. So it says, I don't believe in good men anymore. Oh yeah, that's where I was going with that stalking story. Because she was saying, okay, so this is okay. Real quick, I'll say the conversation me and her had. So we were talking about stalking, and she or no, we were talking about when to write people, how long to wait, and if they write back or not, how to deal with it. And she goes, well, I was writing guys, and then I wouldn't get messages back sometimes. So she asked me, so was I a stalker, or was I coming off as needy? I said, well, from your perspective as a woman, you only notice the most desirable men, and no other men exist in your eyes. So, like, the most desirable men for most women are going to be roughly, I say at best, 15% of all men walking around, right? So, for one reason or another, it's not just looks, or it's not just a nice car, but whatever. For most women, only like 10 to 15% of men are desirable in any way. The rest of men just don't exist to women at all, because they're equal or lower than her in her eyes. In that woman's eyes, they're equal or lower than her. Now, not in reality, of course. In reality, I think all men are better than women, or most men are better than women in reality. But from her perspective, she thinks that she's better than 85% of men. So, um, yeah. So she asked me, was she a stalker? I said, well, no, 15%. Only 15% of men are actually desirable to you, but those 15% of men have access to roughly 60% of women in some kind of way, right? So he may not get back to you in a text message. He may not even seen it, or he might have been so tired from working, doing his hobbies, building Legos, whatever the fuck. He might have been so off into that and then start dealing with life that he just didn't feel like talking to another woman, right? And so we had that whole conversation. But I had to make her remember, like, look, there's still 85% of men out there, but you just don't care about them at all, right? Because it's just your nature, is what you are. But we had that conversation this morning. This is a top to a candle that she bought. Some fucking scented candle. But yeah, let's continue. Oh, yeah. So how I was going to segue that into here is she was, I don't believe in good men anymore. Yeah, see, this title pretty much says, I don't believe in the top 15%, top 5 to 15% of men to be good to me and only me, because I only want those men because I know other women want those men, right? See, when women say they want a good man, they don't just, okay, you have to really pay attention to what women say. Like, for example, when a woman says she wants a baby, that's all she wants, a baby. She doesn't want a 9-year old, right? She doesn't want a 15-year old. She doesn't want to have to talk to this motherfucker and educate him and shit. She wants a baby. More preferably, she wants a baby doll, right? When the women say they want a baby, or they want a baby because they're trying to keep up with with their neighbors down the street, or their sister or their aunt or something like that. That's what she says when she wants a baby, right? So when a woman says she wants a man, what she's really saying is she wants that top 15% of men. She doesn't want just a decent man, right? She wants a man that other women are gonna want and all that shit like that, right? That she knows other women are gonna want, gonna be crazy over and all that, right? Because okay, who's this woman? Amy Horton. Amy Horton. Yeah, I don't care if she looks ugly or great. Doesn't. But let's just check her out. Okay, yeah. So if this is her, right? I can tell you right now, if this is Amy Horton, this woman has an inbox filled with men. She's got coworkers, colleagues. This, I don't care what the rest of her body looks like. Just the fact that her face looks anywhere near like that, she has copious amounts of men trying to trying to get with her, right? Finding a man, if she's anywhere near that, because she's gonna put her best picture up. I get that. She's gonna go through, look at what the best picture she can find, probably put a filter on it, shit like that, and put it up. Even with that, the fact that she just has long straight hair and is just physically a woman, she's got offers. This woman has offers. The thing is, she's just not getting offers from the top 5 to 15% of men that she can show off to her friends and all that. She doesn't trust them because she's only getting, like I was mentioned earlier, she doesn't trust men because she's the 60 to 80% of women trying to go out there and tie down, the top 15% of men, right? That's why she's not going to trust them. They lie, they're cheating, they're married men and all this because she's in the bottom. She's not in the top 15% of women, and that's hurtful to say, but there's no other way to really say it, right? Right. So let's start this. I used to think that there were a lot of good men in the world, and there are. Then I got older and found my experiences turned me into someone completely jaded who has no faith in guys whatsoever. It's not just me either. A lot of my friends have gotten screwed over too, and we're all kind of over it. Yeah, yeah, and that yeah, all this is fitting. Yeah, yes, I know, not all men and all of that, but I'm truly questioning whether there are any decent dudes out there anymore at all. Yeah, and see, this part solidifies. This part right here solidifies. Oh wait, let me scroll down so you can see. That solidifies mine where I'm gonna touch anywhere throughout this article. What was the other one? Was it Yana Hawking? I did a video on her about like a week or two ago, and all her friends were that same physical quality, and they're all single, and none of them can find a man. Yeah, see, birds of a feather flock together. Married women stay with married women. Women in long-term relationships, they deal with they can only hang out with other women like that. Women of a certain physical caliber, if she's a 10 out of 10, well, she's hanging out with other 10s, maybe a 9 here or there, but mostly 10s. Women who are 7s, they don't hang out with 9s because they're no envy and jealousy, right? And women who can't keep men, women who get screwed over, women who can't find any good men, they're all hanging out with each other, right? They're all of them are hanging out with each other. See, on a different side, see, a man with 4 kids can hang out with a dude who has no kids, or a guy who's been married for 35 years can hang out with a dude who's just kind of like single and kind of gets in these year-long relationships and breaks. See, men can do that. Men can hang out with other guys of different calibers or whatever, different life experiences, calibers in life, and all that shit. Men can do that. Women, no, they're the ones separating everything. Like I think it was it Yana Hawking. Let's look at it. I think that was Yana Hawking I was talking about. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, because she was in the picture with her friends. Yeah. And all her friends are going to genuinely be like of this physical quality. And the only female friends that she's going to have are going to be other women who can't keep men because she cannot hang out with a woman who can keep a man and or keep a family going. She can't do it because her envy and jealousy will take over. The only way that this type of woman, I'm not just gonna say Yana Hawking, but she's fitting uh that mold of woman. The only way that this mold of woman can hang out with a married woman is if it's like her sister or something like that. But even regardless, it doesn't matter who it is. The only time she can hang out with a married woman is if she thinks there's a chance that she can take the husband from her and try to do this thing of like segueing into like a ready-made family kind of thing. Because now she knows that guy can, do this. It's almost the same. Okay, she's in the same situation as I say, like a dude who dates a single mother and tries to like segue that shit into a ready-made family type of shit. All he was just the missing piece kind of shit. Like they try to like do. She's in the same position, but the thing is, she'll do it. That's the only way she can hang out with a woman who can keep a man. She can't do it. The only way she can do it is if she thinks there's hope that she can steal the man and start her own family and build up off of that. That's the only way. And even then, she may not do it because you know how women are, man. They'll do it, but then once they get the guy, then they realize, oh, like the only reason I liked him was just to see if I could get him, kind of thing. And then they'll break it off, like, yeah, because she's a woman, man. She has no sense of direction until a man comes in and makes it. But and it's the reality, man. You can't. It's fucked up to say it, but it's true. So let's get. So number one, she says, I don't trust them. Let me make sure the audio's working. But and this is yeah, yeah. So it goes. I don't trust them. I'd love to be able to open myself up and be vulnerable with a man, but I'm incapable of trusting men anymore, no matter how hard I try. I feel like as soon as I let my guard down, I end up getting hurt. It happens every single time without fail, so I don't want to do it anymore. I know that I'll never have a happy, healthy, fulfilling relationship without trust, but life has made me suspicious and anxious, especially after guys have promised they would never hurt me and then turned around and done exactly that at the first available opportunity. I don't want to get burned yet again. Number two, I don't think they're capable of emotional maturity. Even the best guys I know don't seem very emotionally mature. They certainly aren't very mentally mature. Are there any men out there who aren't just little boys at heart? It kind of weirds me out. I don't feel like women are this way at all, so I don't get where it comes from. I just want a man who's on my level. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, this is another red flag. And that's been impossible to find. Yeah, yeah. Whenever women start saying shit like on my level, right? Like you got to get on my level, blah blah blah. Yeah, see, that's usually a clear sign of her being super fucked up. Because then she can always just kind of manipulate the saying, right? You got to be on my level. You're not on my maturity level, emotional level. What that's usually code name for is she's actually the one that's not mature. But since it's these trigger phrases, she can always kind of manipulate that to work to her advantage, right? Like she can always do it. Whenever they start using words like level, toxic, that's another word. What's another one? I can't think of any more now. On my level, toxic. I'm trying to think. What's another? I don't play games. That's another one. I don't play games. Usually that means she's the main game player. I can't think of any more right now. But yeah, there's certain red flags that when women start using words or phrases, immediate red flags that she's the problem with it. Because again, if she's so educated, if she's so great, oh, I think I've wait no, Amy Horton. Let's look up Amy Horton. Is there a LinkedIn? Yeah, here it is. So let's look at this. Maybe it's like available. I don't know. It may not be available. I don't know. It's not available. So if she's been to school and she's doing all this, there has to be some decent men. If she's so amazing and so great and she's so strong and powerful and this and that, then why is there an issue attracting a qualified mate, right? Right. Like I said a long time ago, it's like selling Rolex watches, right? Let's say you sell a let's say you own a Rolex watch store, right? Now, first off, let's say what's her name? What's this woman's name? Amy Horton. Let's say this caliber of woman. Let's say she's a Rolex watch, right? Let's say she's legitimately awesome, amazing. She has a great track record. she's, all that, right? Well, if you put a Rolex watch in a neighborhood where motherfuckers are also a Rolex watch quality, or Rolex watch shouldn't have much problem selling, right? Because everybody in that area can afford it. They're of their lifestyle. It's a clean, good neighborhood and all that. Because the watches be about $15,000, something like that on the low end. I think about 10, 15, something like that. You should be able to sell, right? You should be able to sell. But if you put a Rolex watch in the hood, a Rolex watch store in the hood, or around motherfucker, let's not even say the hood. Let's just say like put a Rolex watch shop in a neighborhood where, let's say, where everybody works at a warehouse. Work warehouse, fast food shit like that. Well, motherfuckers out there can't afford it, right? So it wasn't smart for you to put a Rolex store in, next door to Walmart. Right? Like, you're not gonna find a Rolex store sitting like, like in partnership with Walmart. That shit don't make. I mean, I'm not saying motherfuckers who buy Rolexes don't go to Walmart. I'm not trying to say that, but you're gonna have a hard time trying to find traffic in that scenario, right? If at all, right? Okay, perfect example for me. Because I'm going through an issue right now in the VA, right? Where I had to just spam my resume, my CV, to just, a specifically tailored resume uh, with the VA, right? And I spammed it. And so, okay, so here's a snippet of my life. So what I'm going through right now at the VA is this, and my VA counselor is a fucking. She's just becoming horrific at this point to where that's where I started this live stream out talking about it. I spam my CV, right? And I even forget, well, resume for Americans, and I forget that my resume looks pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, right? And and I'm getting offers like I did the same thing with my girl. I made her a resume, and by the end of the week, she had 3 job offers. Literally and I think I did it on Tuesday. I took her information and I made a resume, made it look good, made it concise, and I'm not joking. By the end of that week, she had 2 job offers. One was at the airport, and the other one, I can't remember what the other one was, but I think it was in Spain, right? But the other one was here, at the airport. I don't know what those balloons are, right? So I made a resume. What was this? When did I do this? What's today? Today's Tuesday. So this had to have been, I think, Saturday when I just kind of like just shotgun my resume out. And I've had 2 offers now. One's in it's in a rougher area of California, but one's in California, and I got to look to see where the other one is. But yeah, yeah. By the end of the week, you should be getting some bites. If you're trying now, I get it, in the dating market is not that easy for men, but for women, oh, it's incredibly easy, right? Right. So the reason I went into that rant is because, okay, know where you're trying to sell to, right? If this woman was Amy Horton, whatever, this quality, this caliber of woman is having such a difficult time finding men, like most people already say, look, the problem's not the men, the problem's her. She's 52. She's 52. Is that her? Oh, she's getting old. That's what it is. Okay. She's getting, oh, she's 50. Yeah. That's sounding, now that you say 52, I would have to say, like, uh-oh, yeah, I'm scaring men away. Yeah, that's this Sharon Stone shit. I'm scaring men away. What's this? I think I'm pretty awesome, but I seem to scare guys away. Yeah, you're not scaring anybody away. Oh, somebody, they roasting her too. What's this? This is back in 2006. No, this is members since 2006. What is this? Yeah, when women start going on about, I think I'm scaring men away. No, you're not scaring. Look, okay, By the time okay, now here's the thing. I have met girls who are legitimately gorgeous and they can't find men. Right? This is a thing. This is a situation that happens. There are women who will be beautiful and they're young and they're beautiful, gorgeous, and they'll be single for years, right? And no, it just because no man will approach them like in real life. Of course, not like on social media, shit like that. But in real life, men just will not approach them, and it's because if I were, I told one, I remember I can't remember who it was, but I told one of them, I said, "Look, if if I had a seen this type of woman, out in the real world, I would have thought she was already with somebody, right? Because she looks, but in reality, some girls like they do go through that, and it is. I think Mila Kunis says she went through that. I think Serena Williams, I think she went through that. She went through years of just being single. I think Mila Kunis says she went like through like 7 years of just nobody approached her at all for like 7, 6. I think it was Mila Kunis who said that. Um, but yeah, it happens. Um, it totally those scenarios can definitely happen. But a scenario like this with who's Amy Horton, she's clearly been around the block a lot, and she doesn't fall into that boat of men would just look at a woman and assume that she was already taken type of shit. It's like no, like she's already being approached by men and shit, and she's still fucking up. So number four, because I think number three is an advertisement. Yeah, number four, they think they'll do whatever they can get away with. I know it sounds cynical, but that's the way I feel. I think that if he knew he wouldn't get caught, any man would cheat. I don't think there's a guy out there who wouldn't give in to temptation. It makes me sad to even admit that I feel that way, but it's true. I've seen it happen time and time again, and I have yet to have a guy prove otherwise. This is okay. Now, this is something that I really wish women would really understand, but they I don't they can't. Okay. For example, when I was with my ex-wife, I flat out told her, like, you can cheat on me, it's fine, just don't ever let me know. All right, just don't make a fool out of me. Don't let me know. Don't ask me for money to give to some dude, whatever. Because in my opinion, the second you try to like the second you do that, you try to go out and be like, you can never cheat, blah blah blah. Blah. I think that makes it more desirable for who the other partner, right? So here's the thing. In my history of dating and all that, I've never known if a woman cheated on me. I've never known it. I don't think a woman has ever cheated on me, but I have no way to prove it. Um, and I think it's the same thing the other way around. Now, at this point, I haven't cheated on my spouse now, right? Um, and she got mad at me when I brought this up because of the reason why I never cheated. She got mad at me, and I'm honest about it. I never cheated on her because I'm just tired. Like I'm just tired. I just don't. I mean, I don't really want when I went because when I went to Ukraine, she thought I was cheating on her out there, and I didn't. Even though I didn't have. Okay, personally, like honestly, I wouldn't have had like a problem with it, but like personally, like I just don't have an urge to do it. Like I just don't have an urge to cheat on her, right? But it's not because I just love her so much and all that shit like that. It's just I just don't have an urge to do it. Like it's not like oh if I start talking to a bitch and I'd be like oh I want to fuck you but oh my girlfriend and no I don't think about it. I'm just tired. Like I just the first thought that comes to mind right when it comes to cheating is I'm gonna have to talk to this new woman after. And I just get just so disgusted. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Right? Like that's more where it comes from. That's more where my loyalty comes from. It's not because like I don't want to fuck another bitch. Like I like the thought of fucking another woman really doesn't like disgust me or anything like that. It's the fact that I would have to talk to another woman. Like I'm like Al Bundy with this shit. Like I don't want to have to talk to a bitch. Like in any way. Like I don't want to have to talk to women. right? I just like I don't like I'm tired of it. I just don't like speaking. I don't want to learn this whole woman's new problem and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't care. That's where my loyalty's coming from. It's Al Bundy shit. Would you go through it to a brothel to consider cheating? I've taken guys to brothels who come to visit me. Um, um, I've taken guys to brothels. I just don't like talking to bitch. I just don't like talking to them. I just don't like, and it's not even I'm at this stage in my life. I'm more happier just jacking off the porn instead of going to a brothel, buying a hooker, meeting a random girl at a bar. Because here, you can go to a black club here, and those white women will love you if you're not white. Like, it is some racist shit, but it's some racial shit. Oh, you go to either M1, and I can't remember the name of the other. What was it M1 is one? Because that where at M1 that was where I found those girls to do a threesome with. When I already had two girls that I was doing a threesome with when I went there. It was a black. Let's see here. Let's do this because it's two of them that I know of. It's M1 is the one, and yeah. So here's M1. JK. Okay, I don't know. I don't think Rados. This is the other one. Rados. This is the other one. Rados. Well, they pronounce it right. Yeah, you guys see that. Rados. These other ones, I don't know what these other. Some of these are probably new. I don't know, but Rados has been there for years, and M1 has been. M1 is small, um, but it's a hip hop club, and it'll have people from a lot of foreigners will be in there. I don't think Rados doesn't have many foreigners like tourists. M1 will get some decent tourist traffic, or some people working here from out of town. They because that's where I met those two girls who because I was trying to actually get them to leave me alone, and they actually liked me even more. So I was trying to pretend I was drunk so they would leave, so I could leave with the two other girls. But they ended up liking me, and because I was with another guy, and that was just a sad story. But yeah, that was just. But Rados, I would say M1 or Rados. Those are the two thirsty. I see. I don't know these other ones. JK. I think some of these are new. I don't know what this is. JK. Let's look at this. Because I don't like going out to clubs anyway. But let's just look at it real fast. Oh, there's one place. It was real easy to pick up women, but I didn't. I just walked in. It just said. I remember I shook the first girl's hand because I remember when me and the African friend of mine we went out. We call him David. That's not his real name. We call him David, and we went out, and and I was off because I hadn't been out. I don't go out to clubs, so like he likes to go out to clubs, and at first I was like real shy and awkward. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get over it. Like the next club we go to, I'm just gonna walk up. I'm just gonna start talking to motherfuckers and just see. And if I crash and burn, I crash and burn. Right. So he was driving, and we go to this. It's actually not far from here. It was this underground dancing club we went to that has like salsa. They had like salsa dancing. And so I just started walking up and just started talking to bitches, like all, and start laughing and joking. And next thing I know, it's like a crowd of motherfuckers like standing around me. And David was saying, he's like, Wendell, you got to calm down because they're gonna fall in love with you. And I'm like, yeah, right. He's like, no, I'm serious because you just being friendly and all this shit, and they don't think like that. They think like, oh, it must be personal, type of thing. I remember I was dancing with one girl, and I'm a horrible dancer, right? Horrible. But here's the thing: when you dance with a woman, as long as you just lead and maybe even crack like jokes or something like that, she won't care, right? She's not gonna care as long as you can just. What I've learned, because I'm a terrible dancer, I'm an awful dancer in a club, right? But my thing, if you get to the point where you like holding a woman and dance with her, as long as you just lead, right? And maybe say some little joke or something like that, or ask her where she's from or something like that, what you doing, blah, blah, blah. As long as you just leading, she won't care about like your quality of dance or skills or anything like this. At least in my history is never been that way. What's up, Jen? What's up, man? So let me, because I want to. It's 8:47. I've been talking too much. I ain't made it through half this list. Let me read some of these off. Okay. I've seen too much shady behavior to trust anyone. How can I believe men when I've seen so many of them live firsthand? There are a lot of posers out there. They act like their girlfriends are their world, and all the while they're messing around behind their backs. The girls have no idea. I feel sorry for them, and I'm terrified of becoming them. I've seen way too much BS to believe men are honest, stand-up guys. Okay. Six, I get burned every time I give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like they know and they have some perverse desire to ruin everything. I don't get it. I hold out and I stay guarded and then finally let them in. They toss my feelings aside like garbage. Seven, I find out that every guy who seems great isn't. Everyone has flaws, but I think that everyone should also at least try their hardest to be good people. I do. I can't even count how many men I've met who seemed decent at first and turn out to be horrible. I've seen my friends go through nightmares with supposed good guys. I simply don't believe in it anymore. Eight, I don't think I'm asking for all that much. I just want an honest man who doesn't cheat on me and doesn't lie to me. It seems like that should be a bare minimum requirement, yet I can't find it. Even if they seem genuine, they end up hiding things from me or lying to avoid conflict. That's no way to have a relationship. It's depressing. Okay, I'm pretty much getting a summary of the reality of what's probably happening with her. I expect the worst of every man at this point. I don't like this. I don't like feeling this way. I want to believe that I will find a great man who wants to be with me and whom I can trust. I know they're out there, that a decent guy exists. I just see too. Okay, okay, yeah. I know where this is headed. Okay, I don't need to read the rest. I see exactly where this is headed. Okay. She's nagging. She's a nagger. Naggers from South Park. She's a nagger. She's nagging. That's what it is. She fucked around. Okay, I can sum all this up pretty quick. The reality of okay, and I could be wrong, but the reality of what happened, if I had to guess, was she fucked around and got older, and now she's trying to speed rush a family or try to speed rush. She's trying to speed rush a family, speed rush connection in a family with a guy, and but she's turned into a nag because she's doing it too fast. Okay, by the time it comes to the point okay, they're throwing her feelings around. They're lying to her to avoid conflict. What was the other one? I can't think of the other one now. But by the time this starts to happen, the reality of what happens when women start talking like this is she was a nag. She wouldn't leave him alone. Um, or she did talk to him. She was immediately mad about something. So the guy's just gonna lie just because he doesn't want to hear her be mad or anything like that. The guy's just gonna lie about it, and she's gonna get pushed off in the dark until the guy slowly out of her fades her out of his life. That's what happened. Yeah, yeah, and she won't trust anyone because she won't trust anyone because when she opens up, that's coincidentally when the men leave. Yeah, yeah. I don't see a point in dating is I can go past a certain point of commitment with anyone. Yeah, yeah. She keeps hitting the same roadblocks. Yeah, it's her. It would take a lot of damn effort at this point from any guy who wants to be with me because I have such a difficult time trusting. It's to discourage it. See, okay, see, and here's the thing that men also have to understand is that women project a lot of their issues, far more than men, right? With I would say with the majority of issues that are known between the dynamics between men and women project a lot more, right? So we've all heard this. We've all heard how women make fun of men because men don't go to therapy and women don't want to be the man's therapist and all that shit like that, right? When in reality, it's quite the opposite. See, women need the man to direct them and be their therapist in some way. Like women need that guy, right? And see, this is hidden under the context of men aren't emotionally available and all that shit like that. That's what they're hiding. That see what the woman's really saying is, I want this man to direct me and be my therapist and be dominant over me as he does it. But women hide under the, oh, well, he's not emotionally mature, he doesn't talk about his feelings whenever I open up. Then yeah, because she wants you to be her therapist. That's why. That's why. But she'll make fun of men for a man wanting to open up his feelings to her, right? This same exact woman has, I will guarantee you, this same exact woman has flat out dumped men to their face because they try to open up their feelings to her. I will guarantee you she's done that. I will bet $1,000 to a donut she's done that, without doubt. I will guarantee if a man opened up his feelings to her, she ain't no time for that. I will guarantee you. I guarantee. Well, her article pretty much states it, right? Because she can't keep that relationship going with a man, right? I'll guarantee you that's exactly what happened. When any man in her life, see, this is how alpha men become like chumps to bitches, is because they tried to sit up and seriously do it, right? Right? They tried to do it, and that's how I mean you can always fall from that girl. I could fall from there with my baby's mama now, right? If I was that type of dude that was looking for her, for advice and shit like that, oh, I would lose. I'd become another child to her. I would become her new child. I'd become her second child, right? Just is what it is, right? Yeah. So let's look at how to stop feeling unworthy of love. Have you forgotten your worth? 7 traits that make you the kind of woman any guy would be lucky to have. How do you know? Oh, well, this is another woman, Susan Kammer. Let's see. Is Susan Kammer actually 20 something? Well, she's 20. So she just because she's 20, she has a biological right, a biological entitlement to have a man hover around her. Plans and she's getting lost in a book. Yoga class has a tall wine. She's a surrogate travel bug. Loves fast food. Never says, so it doesn't say anything about being married or in a relationship. So how the fuck do you know that you're the kind of guy? I mean, kind of woman any man would be lucky with. See, well, this is written in 2015. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It should just be illegal. This should be illegal. Yeah, this should be illegal. What if you're Asian or Hispanic out in Prague? Do you think they'll get some attention? Yeah, yeah. So Mika, if you're Asian or Hispanic, okay. Here's the thing, like out here, it's mostly here. Here's the thing, it's mostly white out here, right? So like the fact that you be something different, it's not the same. It's not the same scenario as say like a North America where like it's similar but different. But and I don't even know where North America is now because I've come across some post on like YouTube and shit of like women, like white women not wanting to date a white guy because he's white. Like, and they just openly say it, like, I don't want to date you because you're white. Like, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fucked up for a woman to say some shit like that. It's not about any type of revenge or anything like that. On my side, I think it's fucked up. A woman wouldn't want to date a guy because he's white, right? I think that's just equally as fucked up, and I was just as mad about that. Um, but out here, I think America's kind of I don't know, as I haven't been to the U.S., especially in the dating market in a while. But from what I'm seeing and hearing just from social media, which is not a very good source, um, um, minorities are kind of being seen a little better. But out here, where I am here, um, even though it is majority white and it's the minority situation, um, yeah, sure. There's definitely some women. There's definitely a lot of the women here who would not date a black guy or a Hispanic guy or an Asian guy just because of that. Um, but if you really talk to them and ask them why, it's usually because they're afraid of what their family's going to say or their friends might say about them and all that, and all of that would come in. But overall speaking, I'm trying to think. I don't even know any Asian appearing people that I know. They're married. I've never known of an any type of an Asian looking dude being single for too long out here. Out of my entire history being here, um, I've never known much about it. And as far as like any type of Spanish, Hispanic or anything like that, um, I've never known many of them to go too long without a woman of some sort. I've never known that to happen out here. Now there are racial issues, don't get me wrong, like anywhere you go, but it's not quite as I remember North America how that used to be because oh man in the U. Now I will say Indian men have a hard time, and I think a lot of it can be if they if okay. So I'm going to speak out of ignorance here, but with Indian men, what I found was let me scroll. Um, with Indian men, what I found is and I'm speaking out of ignorance. So anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but Indian men are gonna have a hard time unless they're like like the Chad of Indian men kind of thing. Um, because I think there's cultural issues, not cultural clashes. For example, like shit like smells and shit like that, like body odor and shit like that. From what I understand, like India, they don't really do a lot of that out there. But I don't know. I've never been. This is just what I'm able to piece together from like reading little bullshit, like social media groups and shit like that. Because there'll be other Indian people in there commenting on it, saying yeah, like it's true, blah blah. I don't know because I've never been. But then on top of that, like Indian men, like India is always kind of seen as a joke kind of thing. And I'm just speaking honestly, man. India is always kind of seen as a joke. It's always seen as a poor joke. For example, like, cause my girl, she knows a friend of ours. She's been like, they'll go and live in India for like 6 months for like real cheap. Um, that's like their vacation spot. So they'll go out there and live for real cheap, but it's supposedly like there's cultural issues, cultural clashes. Um, so Indian men are always going to be seen. I don't say always, but here from what I've seen, Indian men they're always kind of in a rougher spot. From like I think from like how they cook the food and the types of spices, like how it creates a smell or something like that. I've heard stories about that, how people don't like the smell of like when they cook food and they live next door to them and shit like that. I've heard just a lot of little things in passing, but I think Indian men have it the hardest. Um, I think overall, because I think Asian men can work out of that. Asian men can, because pretty much since Bruce Lee, Asian populations don't really have any other place they can call home except excelling in academics, and after that, like nobody really like motherfuckers, or if they don't got a corner store or something like that, motherfuckers really don't see them in any type of like favorable light in the general population kind of thing. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like I hang out with anybody. I don't give. Actually, the Vietnamese dude down the street, he held my son when he was a baby. Um, and I met his sister too. His sister speaks fluent English, by the way. She lives in Canada. I really liked her too. She was cool. But now Asian women do great. Indian women. Now I met one. I remember I met this one girl from Pakistan on a train. Right. I was on a tram. Not a train. I was on a tram, and she had sneezed. Right. She sneezed, and I seen it. She sneezed, and it was like snot came all out in her hand. Right. And she like looked around and just tried to like, because she was holding school books in the other hand. Right. And so I walked up and said, "Here, man, here's a tissue," because I was carrying tissues. This is after the baby was born. So you know, when you have a baby, you get used to being prepared, right? So I had tissues in my bag. So I said, "Here." I said, "Where are you from?" And she goes, "I'm from Pakistan." She was from India. She's from Pakistan. She, cute girl, beautiful girl. So we get to talking, saying how, yeah, she says, yeah, Pakistan gets a bad rep and you know, in media. It's not like what they say on the news and all that. And she was here studying medicine. She was a real nice girl, beautiful girl. But I think that whole area of men gets fucked over. I really do. Cause you won't find, cause then on the other side, they're always very friendly people. I remember I met this when my son was a baby. I met this Indian woman in the mall with her two kids, right? And we get to talking, and she just picks up my son. I'm like, kind of like, it was like too much. Like, I didn't like make a scene or anything, but she was just like, "Oh, I love him so much. Can I hold him?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, you know, just kissing him. She just loves it. And so I'm talking to her daughter because her daughter can speak fluent English, and her son's like showing me this Lego set, and like very nice people. And the husband, he came up later and was talking to me. Like every time I come across, I think they're I think it's in the culture too to be like almost like very welcoming, and almost like the African culture, like this very welcoming, nice thing, which is kind of weird to me as a Westerner. Like, to be like serious about being like that, like it's almost weird to me. But I can make it work. Um, but I'm trying to think of other stories. But for Indian men to date outside of the race, I think they have probably one of the hardest times out of everybody. If I had to assume, I think the Indian population has it. The India, Pakistan, I can't think of the other one now, but that region, I think they have it harder to date outside of their population. Because then you go to like an Indian restaurant, like, I love Indian food. Don't get me wrong, but it like I feel like the culture in itself almost kind of like pushes people away in a way, kind of thing. Like I feel like it's almost like too much. It's because it's almost like so different with like, you know, with the carpets and the we had, let's say, like curtains, any type of like textile, like they put so much effort into it to where like it's almost like too much, and it, like, I feel like I'm kind of being pushed away by it. But at the same time, they're always very nice and very friendly. So it's like it's this weird dynamic from my perspective. From my perspective, but they're always very fucking nice people. Always, I've never met one who was in any way rude to me at all. Do they think the same about Mexico? Oh, okay. So over here, I don't think they really have a good understanding of. I don't know Mexico, but I don't think that. Okay, here's the thing. From what I understand about the typical European's perspective on the Americas, is many of them just don't get it. Many of them, they don't understand the reality of now. I've never been to Mexico. I've been to Argentina and that little area, but I've never actually been into Mexico. But I don't think they really understand the whole immigration issues that we have there, and the history behind those immigration issues, and how Mexico actually used to be like all that Westerner shit until that war. I can't remember I can't remember the war, but they, you know, shot it down. And then now I think that line between Texas and Mexico is like one of the biggest separations in quality of life and wages, I think, in all the world. I'm pretty sure it's in like the top five. That line that separates Mexico from the US is like the biggest separator of like of quality of life and average wages, statistically speaking. Now again, you can't always trust statistics because shit like this, right? I'm living here. I'm telling you, most checks do not make this much money a month. But so I'm speaking off of ignorance and statistics. Um, but I had to explain. For example, I had to explain to my girl like what got Donald Trump attention as running as president was the fact what originally got Donald Trump attention for running as president on a countrywide level was the fact that he was talking shit about Mexicans to the forgotten whites of North America, the whites who jobs that dried up from warehouses and factories because they all been shipped overseas. Trump was speaking to literally all those people, And if you look at his demographic of where he spent the most, I think it was either he spent the most money or he got the most votes. It was all those areas that got like they were just the forgotten whites, and that was his target audience to get the boat rolling at least to getting some attention, right? So I had to tell my girl, yeah, like in the U.S., literally 2 weeks before Donald Trump came out, nobody said shit, especially in the in Eastern America about the Mexicans. Nobody said nobody there. That was not a complaint. Nobody. Now maybe out west, people was probably bringing it up here or there. Probably have because I can see that because they would come through Mexico. I mean, come through Texas and that area down there. I could see that area having complaints. But out in Ohio, no, motherfuckers was not complaining about that shit, dude. Like nobody in Ohio, nobody knew about the Mexicans doing. I mean, we knew Mexicans and we kind of figured it happened, from time to time, but it was not on the top of anybody's list to talk about. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't in the. You'd be lucky to find a news article about it somewhere. If you weren't living in California, New Mexico, Texas, or Nevada, you'd be lucky in Ohio to see any type of article come up about it. It was just non-existent until Trump he gained steam and he came out and said it. And that kind of led all of the U.S. to kind of, because all of them forgot, because that forgotten part of the population was mad because they couldn't get good jobs anymore and needed somebody to blame, right? And Trump used the Mexicans as a scapegoat for everybody's problems. But then when you actually looked into the math, the U.S. literally loses more money on a complete accident than than the Mexicans supposedly steal from the country. And that was funny to find out. Like the U.S. literally just loses it, doesn't know where it went. We don't know. And then see now I'm on a Mexican rant and that whole Trump. See everybody who voted for Trump, see they don't want to bring up that credit card debt, that housing loan debt. See, keep all that quiet. See all that white collar debt. Nobody wants to talk about that. Just blame the Mexicans. That's your problem. It's fucking hilarious. Look at that house. Look at that housing loan debt, credit card debt, car loan debt. Add up all that debt. And on top of that, add up the money that the U.S. government literally just loses on accident. Like they literally just it's literally documented as unaccounted for. You look up all that. Yeah, the Mexicans. It was nothing, dude. Like it's literally fucking 15 cents a year. Well, it's not 15 cents, but it was nowhere near what they tried to make it out to be in relation to that amount. Blaming Mexicans for North America immigration is like blaming driving cars for pollution on Earth. To the person on the outside looking in that never looked into it, it would sound like a big number, right? But when you factor in the entire theory of what's working behind shit, then you'd be like, okay, yeah, it's really like cars really ain't doing shit. Cars when it comes to pollution. Like it's a big number, but that's really not, a big part. I mean, of course you every little bit adds. I'm not saying that. There's 15 cents in $1,000,000. Every little bit adds up. But no, that was not. Yeah. So then that led in America to hatred over like any foreigner. And that went wild. Indian men are too thirsty. Oh, no. Here's the thing, man. I've never seen it. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen. But again, I don't really see many Indians here. But the few that I have come across, like for example, when I lived in Chescalipa, there was a lot of them coming for bombardier. Bombardier. Let me see that. If I'm going to spell it right. It's because I actually got a job offer to work for them because a friend of mine was working there. Is this it? I don't think this is it. I don't think that's not it. No, I think that is it. I think this is it. Yeah, yeah, this is it right here. Okay. Yeah, bomb. So there was a lot of them coming here to work because they were Bombardier had put a factory somewhere up there by up there either in Chescalipa or near Chescalipa or something like that. And there was a so for example, one of my friends, his name's Brown. He would fly out to India. He always flies out to India to go to work. They always fly him out there to go to work for a while, or they send a lot of Indians here from out there to come work. So there would always be like a pack of them, like because they probably they know where they was at. They was in Chiscalipa, and they definitely don't speak Czech. You know, they probably would have spoke English, but I never even spoke because I would always be like in and out somewhere type of thing. But I never would see them in bars or anything like that. Man, because I lived in the center of Chescalipa, and I never seen them like in bars or anything. Bar- Bombardier. I said bombardier, bombardier, bombardier is how you pronounce it. Yeah, they would come out here. Let's look at their career. What is this? Oh, they said the site's not working. Because we hung out with a dude. He was a boss. He was over some department. He didn't speak English. I think he spoke Dutch. He offered me something to do something in there. We were drinking at a bar. Again, I never find jobs like the stereotypical way. Now, here's the thing: in America, I forget that in America, motherfuckers will value the fact that I've lived in Europe and all that. So like that would put me up on a pedestal back there. But like But yeah, out here that shit doesn't work. Like nobody cares that you're in Europe out here. Like it's, I mean, some people might a little bit, but like in America, like if I were to go back to America and just walk around, start talking to people, and say, yeah, I've been living in Europe for the last 7 years, and I got a baby out there, like that immediately puts me. And on top of that, I got education, so that puts me up. Like it's gonna put me up here to the point where it almost gets awkward, right? But I just don't even like talking about it. I just tell people I work at McDonald's or something just so they because my life is just not believable. Like I get it, like I totally get it. My life is just not very, but and I'm here's the thing, I'm not the best. There's guys out there who make my life look like nothing. Like there's guys out there who make my life look like I just graduated high school. Okay. um but yeah, that list is some sitcom level comedy. Kind of like whenever I visit Barbados, they'll ask me who my mom is, like they can tell. But yeah, no. To answer your question, Javi, about Mexico, um, I think that if anything, and this is a weird situation, I think that for the people who never been to like the Americas in any way, I think it's like is this. I think there's an automatic love for anything in the Americas or in between the Americas. I think from my perspective of like of being in conversations with people, is from my experiences, what I've come to is there's an automatic love and almost glorification for anything that's connected with the Americas. For example, I showed you guys a while back. This brand. This brand is an Argent. I'm pretty. This is Argentina brand, and this is a luxury brand, right? Relatively speaking, it's a luxury brand, right? Like this stuff's not cheap. Where we let's go here. Let's go to new arrivals. Yeah, so you see, it's like a pair of pants, 106 shit, $168. A crew fit neck sweater is $363. So you guys see that, right? And La Martina is an Argentina brand of clothes, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let's do this just to make sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna do it just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure it's yeah. Argent Argentina, Italian. Yeah, I think they sold. I think they sold to Italy, but I'm pretty. Yeah, it's an Argentina brand. Here it is. .ar. This is an Argentina brand, right? So I have to tell people here that like, yo, like Argentina, that's like the equivalent of Ukraine, right? Like the average wages there, like $200, $300 a month, something like that. And on top of that, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to the news, but Argentina's new president went on record just saying like, "Yo, like there is no more. We don't have any money." Right? Because there's a saying, there's a saying, and I'm not. Now it sounds like I'm bashing Argentina, but I really enjoyed Argentina, and I would move back there if I wasn't, with a baby here. Like I would happily move to Argentina, the Buenos Aires. But there's a saying that Argentina never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity as a country, right? And there's another saying in economics. There's four different types of economies. There's a good economy. There's a bad economy. There's Japan, and then there's Argentina, right? Like there's four different types. But the president, I don't know if anybody's paid attention. The Argentine president, he just came out and said like, "Yo, we don't have any money," because they essentially just lived off the IMF loan money for like decades, I think, and they just have no way to pay it back, and that's a real rough situation, man. It really is. Because as a country, that's a hard situation to be in, and these little things is what I notice about Czech Republic. And I told my girl today because we had a doctor's appointment with my son, and on the way back we walked to the grocery store. We got in a conversation about world issues, and I tell her all the time, dude, like as a country, you have to get technology working. Relying on the quality of beer is not something fucking great, unless you want to be a vacation spot and get your pussy smashed in. Relying on the quality of your beer is not it should not be your top priority. Right? And how you can pour beer and heat up some bread. I mean, it's cute. Don't get me wrong. I like good beer and nice soft bread too, like anybody else. But when shit gets real and you get invaded, what you gonna do? Take them to Show Park and buy and get them some beer? I mean, what you really gonna do? Like, I mean, if Germany woke up tomorrow and said, "Fuck it, we gonna take this shit. Fuck the European Union, all that shit. We just gonna take it." Like, what would Czech Republic really do? They gonna take them to show. They gonna take all them troops to Show Park. You can't do nothing, right? And I think Argentina's in a bad position, man. I think Argentina's in a bad position because because what they focused on in education was of no real value in protecting themselves. It was just white collar. It's like Czech Republic. They're gonna focus on art, history. You know what I'm saying? This clown shit. It's not gonna be, textile. It's not gonna be in anything to actually protect yourself and fight with. So it's like, even if a country wanted to fuck with you, you don't have any real good deep ties with anybody that's a big dog in the game. So it's like you're never gonna have, as a country, Argentina as a country, you're never gonna have the money to really pay off any type of debts or be a hitman for another country, which is essentially what North America is for Europe. We're just a hired hitman. Um, that's bringing in military money through the bases throughout Europe. Um, so at this point, like, what can Argentina really do? You really can't do anything. What, make empanadas? I mean, what the fuck is an empanada? Like, you got to make a bigger stick. You got to get some technology pump. You got to take over the internet. Do something. But relying on food and beer, that ain't gonna. Relying on chicken and beef, bro. You got to start making some moves. That ain't gonna do that. Everybody's country's in debt. Everybody's state's in debt. Most municipalities are in debt. You probably didn't know. Who's watching this, you may have a house or whatever. Yeah, see, you didn't know that your municipality went broke and sold all that shit to another municipality 80 miles away. So that land really, I mean, it's yours, but it ain't really yours, right? Like, it's yours, right? And you could fight the law for that, but in reality, like, they selling the rights of that shit to other motherfuckers, right? I told my dad that, like, yeah, you just didn't know, but they sold that. Your municipality has been sold since you've been there, because your municipality went broke. Everybody's in debt, right? But my thing is, have some kind of fighting chance in the world. Like, do have some type of skill, knowledge, some type of fighting chance in the fucking world. See, but yeah, go look it up in your off time. Look at he came out and said, yeah, there is no more money. So at this rate, all they can really do, in my opinion, all Argentina can really do is hope North America comes down there and just colonizes it. Um, but then if you do that, all that's going to do is lead to all them other poor countries. They just gonna ship all their immigrants to Argentina now, and America's gonna have to deal with that. So will North America do that? They not gonna trust Russia or China with it. All right, nobody's gonna trust them unless they just super duper fucked up. And Argentina's super duper fucked up, but they too close to America logistically speaking. So I think they'll wait on that. They've been hoping Europe's gonna take them in on a political level. Europe can't afford to take care of Europe. All right, so that's never gonna happen. Um, so at this point, because I think somebody on YouTube said that they were, or no, it was an article. They were saying that they were hoping that the U.S. dollar would just come there because the Argentine peso is just garbage now. You can't do anything with it. Yeah, that's a long rant. Mo, what's up? Mo, you said out here now, women's gym clothes are essentially underwear, and they are surprised why dudes are looking at them. Oh yeah, they know exactly why, man. It's the whole reason why she bought. The whole reason why a woman even put on some shit like that is because she looked in the mirror. This bitch looked in a 360-degree mirror to see her ass and went, that's the one. Right? Because here's the thing about any of the women in the gym dressing like that, right? Ask them what the idea. Okay, because they always say, "Well, you shouldn't want to look at my body. I should be able to walk around. It's my body. You should control yourself." Blah, blah, blah. Right. They'll all say that's silly because they dumb as hell, man. But here's the thing: ask any woman to define what revealing clothes is. What would be seen as erotic? What kind of clothes would porn stars wear to boost their image and all that? And they're gonna describe exactly those clothes. Right. So bitches, they know, man. Like like I'm tired of the world trying to pretend like they don't know. Like they want you to look, dude. The whole reason why look, let's go. Let's just do women's leggings. Let's do. It's gonna sound like this is gonna be some borderline creep shit, but let's do this, right? See, now she's not even like a super good looking woman, but let's just use her as an. Oh, let me move this. Let's just use this woman as an example, right? Let's use her as an example. Now she's not even like a super good looking woman at all, but we're gonna use her as an example. She's just skinny, right? This woman, when she finally decided to pick those leggings out, she tried on at least 5 different pair of leggings and got to a mirror where she could see her butt and see her legs and chose the best looking leggings that she could find and pick those. That wasn't an accident. She didn't just go and just walk into a mall and just went, I'll buy these. Okay, I'll buy them and put them on and went, oh my God, why are you looking at my butt? This bitch went to a store, at least I would say at least 2 or 3 stores, tried on different brands to see how they looked, went to a fitting room, and she went just like this. Let me make this bigger. Because I'm going to show you exactly. She went just like this. She tried them on and then went. You know what I mean? And then walked around and then tried to act like she ain't see herself and see in the mirror and went. She did all this shit, right? And then she gonna try to go out in the world and be like, oh my God, how could you do that? Like this bitch knew exactly she trying to be. I mean, she knew exactly what the fuck. I'm tired of motherfuckers trying to pretend like that's not what they out there doing. That's exactly what she's doing, man. Like stop playing dumb. I'm tired of the world trying to play dumb with bitches. She's trying to get attention to be fuckable. Just stop trying to play stupid. She did that all that. She tried on all this shit, dude. Every time a woman wears anything, let me tell you something. Anytime a woman puts on clothes, she knows exactly what her ass looks like because she picked through 5 different pair of pants and 3 different sizes to get that specific look because she figured she looked more fuckable, and that's the only reason why she did it. It's the only reason why. It's the only reason why she did it. Say these bitches, they don't even look that good, right? But these bitches went through 4 or 5 different shops to get the most optimal fuckable percentage that they can get out of whatever they was getting ready to buy and put on. They went to whatever made them the most optimally fuckable. That's what they did. Like, and I'm tired of motherfuckers trying to pretend that that's not what they doing. That's exactly what they doing, right? Cause see what? Okay, okay. See, here's the thing. Okay, let's do this. See, not leggings. See, they still doing this. Let's do women. Let's do this. See, like this is How come women ain't going to the gym dressed like this? These women in the Marine Corps. So it's very functional. It keeps their hairs out of their face, right? She's got on shorts that could be easily moved. They're easily movable. You can even say they're revealing, right? How come women are accidentally dressing up like this going out to work out? What? Why? How? You see what I'm saying? Like this is the most optimal shit that you can have as a woman working out. Why is it always this? I'm trying to be a low key porn star. Shit, this silly shit. I'm trying to be a low key porn. I'm trying to be a porn star, but I'm gonna act like I don't even know it. Type of shit. I look like for real. Like why the fuck? Like why would you want to work? Why would you want to go to the gym and work out in that? Does Is it that important for you for motherfuckers to see your silhouette while you working out? Like what was it? Why? Why? It's fucking stupid. And I'm tired of the world trying to pretend like it's not. It's fucking dumb, dude. She's trying to get fucked. She's trying to get attention. She's trying to get attention. That's what it is. It's what it is. I'm tired of people trying to act like that's not what they're trying to do. Why? What is the fucking reason to even pose? Okay, here's the thing. Why are you even posing like this? Picture. Why you mean, how come you just didn't stand straight up and just look at the camera, right? You trying to let motherfuckers see the crack of your ass because they want to imagine, because when a woman sees it, she goes, oh, I bet I look fuckable in that. I bet a guy want to shove his dick up my fucking ass with my legs looking like that. Right? Why would you even post this shit? Right? For what reason? That's porn. That's all it is. You trying to be a porn actress, but you're not good enough to make it to porn. That's all it is. You trying to be porn. Why pose like this? For what is the reason? How come you just couldn't literally just stand straight up and look at the? You gotta look at the ass to see if the ass has the right curve in it to make your butt look better. Yeah, this is not necessary. Does it look good? Yeah, as a man, yeah, I want to fuck this ass. Does it look good? Of course. And that's the same thing women said, because it makes men want to fuck me. Right? It's fucking like it's pathetic, man. Like, and again, like I said, if you want to work out, then why not just work out? Why not just go to the gym? What is really so wrong? Like, ask a woman for real. What is really so wrong with going to the gym dressed like that? Then what's so wrong about it? And what is she gonna say? What's her response gonna be? Well, I don't look cute. Why are you trying to look cute? Well, I want to look cute. Well, why you want to look cute? Because I wanted attention from men. But she's not gonna say that. She was like, I don't know. She wants the attention, dude. Why not go to the gym? Because men will go to the gym dressed like that. Maybe they might have a different color shirt, but men will go to the gym. Maybe not the socks too, but men will go with that overall theory of look. Men will go to the gym like that. I would. Well, I don't go to gyms, but I would. So where? Yeah, it's fucking pathetic, man. Like it's fucking. What is this? Oh, this is the other one. Oh yeah, where I was going with it earlier was yeah Oh yeah, yeah. Or like the Americas, like if Argentina were closer to Europe, oh, Europe would hate that shit, dude. These motherfuckers be looking down on it, roasting it every 5 seconds. But the fact that it's foreign, they think it's something better, and all that. But if Argentina were closer to here, oh, they would treat that shit like Africa. I'm telling you. They would look down on, why you coming here using our benefits? Oh, they be roasting the fuck out of Argentina. But it's far away, so they don't know that. I remember in the 80s and 90s, see a young woman wearing this type of fabric often too at the gym, but some of it was being worn in high school. Yeah, they don't dress like Missy Elliott. I can't. I think everybody knows, but we just don't talk about it, care about it. Where the mothers dress their young daughters in that too. Yeah, man, and that's the sad part is when women dress their daughters up like that. Is because they really just advertising their own daughters. They're literally like women are the biggest fucking creeps and perverts on the planet. They just hide behind either cultural beliefs, shit like that. But they're the biggest perverts, dude. Biggest perverts. Usually men have to find out the hard way, and then the men are dumb, so they immediately go blame the other men for it, or they want to blame Walmart. Like I did a video a long time ago about this dude. This dude was outraged because this motherfucker was outraged because he found clothes. Like he said, he came to the conclusion that all the clothes for little girls were like skin tight leotard shit like that, right? And he was outraged, and he was mad at Walmart for it, right? And I'm in my video was something like, no, like it's not Walmart, it's women buying this shit. Because if women stop, okay, to that guy, like you're not the first guy who ever said that in life. You're not the first man. Now, you're not the first man who's ever looked at that and said, "No, my daughter's not wearing that." You're not the first man who's ever done that, right? Who's buying these leotards for fucking 9-year-old girls? It's women. No man's gonna look at that and be like, "Yeah, I need to dress my daughter up in that." You go to here's the thing, and I said this before. You go to some of the most craziest prisons on earth and ask them, "Man, do you want your daughter wearing?" I tell you what. I tell you what. Where was it at? Go. Here's the thing. Go to some of the most wildest institutions on earth where men have murdered, killed, and done all types of shit, right? And pull up pictures of this and say, pull up this, right? Pull up this picture right here. Hold on, let's go to the page. And be like, do you want your daughter wearing this to go to the gym? There is no man that'd be like, yeah, that's my first choice. I want my daughter wearing that. No. There is no man that's gonna sit up and be like, yep, that's my first choice, dog. Yeah, because you know she got to be flexible. No. It's mothers buying that shit for their daughters. And they be like, nah, I don't even want to look up like 9 year olds and you know what I mean, leggings because I have too much of a conscience. But women, oh, they'll go out and buy this shit for their own daughters. They don't give a fuck. As long as they can compete with other bitches to get they offspring attention from men, they'll do anything. They don't care. That's it. You go find some of the worst offenders on earth and be like, well, do you want your daughter wearing that? Every man from Mahatma Gandhi to fucking Mike Tyson to fucking uh uh I'm trying John Dillinger, they be like, no. No. Absolutely not. No. And guess who's gonna buy it for them? Mommy. That's the that's just that's extreme. That's the mom is that's pervert shit. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. The reason why I say that's pervert shit, right? If a father were to openly say, "Yeah, I want my daughter wearing that," what's the first thought that would come to mind? He's fucking his own daughter. He wants to fuck his own daughter, right? If I don't even want to type in little girls in leggings because that's just like that is pedophile shit. I don't even want to type that into my computer, right? And this is why I always say, the context between men and women, just flip it. Whatever you think is okay for a woman, then flip it to see if it sounds okay for a man. If it sounds okay for a man, then flip it to see how it sounds coming from a woman, right? More times than not, women are horrible creeps. Women are terrible perverts, right? If men was going out trying to, if you, could you imagine if they found a man trying to clip coupons for 9-year-old girl leggings to go use at Walmart to get for 20% off? Do you realize? Think about how that shit. think about that shit, right? What would motherfuckers think if let's say if I had a little girl, right, and I was and you found coupons in my wallet for 30% off of leggings for little girls. That's some creep shit, dude. I ain't even bought the leggings yet. I just got the coupons for them. You be like, this motherfucker, something ain't right with that dude. But a bitch, she can do it. Because, see, women are exempt from sex crimes. In any way. Women are exempt from sex crimes. They're exempt from any type of negativity with sex. They're exempt from it. So she can do it. She can do all the perverted shit she wants to do. And nobody's going to bat an eye at her. It's fucking gross. It's fucking disgusting. It's yo, thanks, Java. Yeah, that's a statement. Yeah. What's up, ABC? What's up, man? I'm gonna get off here in a minute because it's getting late. It's 9:38. But Rana said, I think if guys dress with leggings, they might be called gay, but guys do show off, like wearing tight shirts to show off their muscles. Yeah. Men are scared to walk in a park. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, or if you hang out anywhere near like a kids park, I've heard like guys get like, either get beat up or threatened and shit like that, where women can just go near kids park for whatever reason, like unless the people like for example, like now, like people know I have a son here, so now they know I must be waiting for him to come there. But if they don't like know you, just a random dude, yeah, you can't. Women can. Women are exempt from any potential negativity of anything that can be even remotely considered sexual. If I use remotely right, use sexual. Nobody is see scenarios like this is what lets women get away with a lot of shit that they should never ever get away with. That's why I told my girl, like, whenever there's an issue in the room, the first suspects are women to me, because women can just move so fast that the typical average everyday man just does not. He just can't. He just can't keep up. Whether it's through his social norms blocking reality, social beliefs blocking reality, or he just isn't that in tune with interpersonal relations. But most men just cannot keep up with how fast women move. But yeah, dads get attitude mogged by their daughters if they don't want them wearing skin tight clothes. Yeah, yeah, and mommy's gonna buy it. So it's because mommy's gonna think back. Well, okay. Because here's the thing: the few times when mothers do get approached with it, they try to put it off on, oh my daughter can wear whatever she wants. I got in a long conversation on Facebook and they tried to label me a creep for that, and I had to fight my way out of that. This long Facebook discussion because this woman, she was trying to fight it and she was trying to call me a creep and pervert. I said, like, no, like, I would never buy my daughter these clothes. Why are you buying these clothes? And the typical with female response is, oh well, my daughter can wear whatever she wants, it's her body, right? And dodging the point. Like, okay, why would you want to buy a 9-year-old girl leggings? Why would you want to buy her body revealing clothes? Well, it's her body. She can do whatever she wants. Yeah, I get that. Okay, but why? What is the actual reason why you want to buy a 9-year-old girl some leggings, or a small girl a pair of leggings? For what reason? Right? Why, as a grown woman, why do you want to walk around the street and wear leggings? And they're never going to admit it. But that's, because again, now you flip it. You send a father out. You find a father who is strong and proud to buy his 9-year-old daughter some leggings. He's immediately a creep. He's immediately. or it wouldn't take long to swing it in that direction and have him, become a pariah of society kind of thing. It wouldn't be long if not initially it would happen. If a man would stand up and be proud to buy his daughters leggings, high heels, and shit like that, oh, it wouldn't take long before it would take one statement from one woman to say this guy sounds like a creep, and that whole hive mind would switch to that, because women don't have independent thought. Most women don't have independent thought. They just follow other women, right? And it would just flip, right? This is reality. I feel bad for grandpas who get called creeps or get stared at when they take their grandkids to the park. Yeah. Like, it's always okay for grandmoms to do that. But men, and it's these little situations is why women claim that they feel like they're oppressed, because they're used to just getting away with everything because they're a woman, right? And they're used to just trying to just blame everything on something else and just get out of it because somebody's going to talk themselves into feel sorry for a woman. See, it's the accumulation of just a lot of little issues is what leads women to truly think that they can really compete with men on mental or physical levels on average. And this is what leads them to truly think that they're oppressed and all this shit like that, and men are holding them back and all it. See, because they're used to getting away with anything they want because somebody wants to fuck them, right? They're not used to having any accountability, right? They're not used to having to reflect on their actual character and that they could be the problem. They're not used to any of this, whereas men, we are. So the fact that we have to go through that and work those certain muscles in our brain to have to deal with it, we can put up with a lot more. We can deal with a lot more than any woman can, because she can't understand it, right? Like I said before, see, when it comes down, sister, when shit gets real, and I'm gonna let y'all go at this. When shit gets real, and it's time to survive, right? Men have to stand up and fight, get shot, whatever, and women are just gonna sit around and wait to suck the winner's dick. She might go through a little period of not having much money. I get that. But overall speaking, when shit gets real and shit has to move, right? Men go get killed in war. Men get shot. Men lose legs and arms. Men lose families. All types of shit, right? Because they got held prisoner somewhere, whatever the fuck. When shit gets real for women, women are going to sit down and wait to suck the winner's cock and progress on with life. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good time, good night, evening, day, wherever you are. And I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out.